Hi Chetan, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good, Shivam. How are you?
Perfect, I'm good as well. Firstly, actually, I would like to thank people who were able to watch the first video and to the 51 odd subscribers as well. Firstly, thank you all for that. And secondly, today it's our second interview. We have Chetan Chakko with us. Similar to Sanat, again, we have been friends for like n number of years. Still can't count on that. But I can just start by saying that initially Chetan was the topper of our class, not initially, but till our 12th. He was misplaced somewhat in between, but again he came back and again he started to do whatever he was doing till 8th standard or something like that. So yeah, the initial how would I introduce Chetan is always a topper because he has been a topper always, and then actually the technical part of whatever happened after engineering, that Chetan can explain as well, because we lost a bit of contact from then, but yeah, still connected. So yeah, Chetan, I think firstly I'll start by, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, with pleasure. Thank you so much, Shubham, for inviting me. And as you rightly said, Sanat, you and me have been friends for far too long. Can't even remember when we first met. And we've spent almost all of our school lives together. Of course, because of study, we had to go to different colleges and then we couldn't catch up as much. But it's so good to be here and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
So I'll give a brief introduction about myself. So I've graduated from PICT Pune in 2019, and I was a campus hire at Credit Suisse, where I'm currently working as a software developer for the past 2 years now. And we mostly work on creating softwares that our own company uses to service their clients all over the world.
Okay. 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 So I think I'll actually start my questions with regards to what I have. So I think the firstly would be, uh, to me, it would be the most important actually if I had to. So can someone move from a software developer role to an investment banker? Like, is it even possible if someone wants to?
So yeah, that's a nice question actually. It's a lot of people think that a development role in an investment bank would be a lot more difficult or a lot different than any other technology role. But it's been my experience that at the core of it, you are just developing software, right? It's for different purposes, different applications, of course, but it is development work at its core. And all of my friends who are placed in other tech companies do work with sort of the same tech stack and same technical skills and develop kind of the same thing. So it is technically possible for any software developer to switch from a tech company to an investment bank, I would say. It should be very well possible. It does not a problem.
Okay, so I mean, it's possible. That's the thing. So we can do it if you want.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Perfect. So, let's say if I want to talk about, so my manager is like, I'm in a domain, I'm developing something, and because definitely there would be different managers in the actual investment banking domain. So, like, would it be an actual problem for my manager actually? Because I'm with the firm in the development part, and now he wants to find some new person within the firm for a developer role, and then only he will leave me for just an internal shift to other investment banker role.
Um, Actually, I don't think that's a problem. It really depends on your skill set and the role that your manager is searching a candidate for. If you are a right fit, it shouldn't matter whether you are from within the bank or you are from outside from another bank or from a different field itself. That it's not so relevant, I would say, when you are hiring as a manager. What depends is do you have the right skill set and the right experience for the particular role that we are searching the candidate.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, perfect. So, I think my next question is with regards to how would you rate someone who is trying to get into Credit Suisse from a referral perspective?
Right, of course. Okay. So, see, Credit Suisse is a large company and we have a lot of employees in India. So, hiring goes on almost throughout the year. So, of course, I would say when you are getting into a company, it's always much easier to get in through a campus placement because the expectations at that point in time from you are very less as compared to when you are someone called as a lateral hire or referral. So, lateral hires are some people that we hire from other banks. So there are competitive banks like UBS or Morgan Stanley, right? So those kind of people already have experience in working in the banking industry, and they are top developers. So they kind of get in easily when they're switching between banks itself. And it's comparatively a little bit difficult for someone, say from a tech firm, to join a bank because they don't have the necessary background knowledge regarding functioning of the banks. But again, it's always better to get in through a referral than directly applying to a company, because then you get assigned to a right role and right interviewer, and you know the manager, and you can, get to know the role beforehand and prepare for it accordingly. So that way, it's helpful, I would say.
So I think my next question would be like, if someone has to apply to Credit Suisse, how to create a one-page resume for Credit Suisse? What advice would you like to give to anyone out there?
Okay, so this, I would like to rephrase this question a little bit. I would say you shouldn't ever try to create your resume specific to any company. Keeping it concise, precise, one page is beautiful. That's a good idea. Keeping it updated is very important. Like if you're working on something right now, because you never stop learning, I would say. Even when I am right here in the company, I'm still learning new skills. So you should always keep your resume updated, keep precise and concise. And the only thing is, how I like to go about it is, you should just have the necessary bit of prompts in your resume, I would say. You should not explain. So if I have 3 projects in my resume and I have a couple of skills like my languages that I'm comfortable with, programming languages, or other skills like data analytics or machine learning, whatever I've had courses in, just keep the necessary prompts out there regarding when you did a particular project, what work you did in that project, and why did you do that project. That's all you should keep in there. And if someone, when you're interviewing, if someone is interested in a particular project, they are almost certain to ask you about that. And again, at that point in time, if you have written everything in your resume, then you have nothing more to say regarding that project. And you should avoid that scenario all the time, because it does not give a good impression if you are just reading out what you've written in your resume when someone asks you what you did in that project. So that is always not a good thing to have, right? So you should have stuff that you know about your project by heart, that you can explain to the person who's taking your interview. So avoid writing everything in your resume so that you have nothing to say when you're being interviewed. That
Okay,
would be my
okay,
advice.
okay, okay. I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Perfect. I think my next question would be like while someone is applying to a developer role, uh, like in investment bank like Credit Suisse, does he need to have an
Yeah.
idea how the business works in an investment bank? Like, I mean, everyone is sure about these are two different domain. Investment bank is one thing, and the development part is another thing. But like, do we need to have somewhat a clear idea or a brief idea how these things work, so that that would be a plus point for some candidate or something like that?
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. I think if you are applying for a development role, it is not a prerequisite for you to have banking knowledge or to know how the business works. It's never a prerequisite for any technical role, I would say. The only prerequisite is that you are fluent with the tech stack that you're applying for, and you know to work how to work with the technology. But of course, if you do have some background on the business, it is a very big plus point, I would say, because managers are looking out for candidates who have cross-domain knowledge, because it helps them a lot when you are developing something for a bank and you have to deal with the business. If you're already familiar with the terms the banking industry uses, it helps a lot during the requirement gathering process and understanding the requirements and the developing them. So it is definitely a big plus point if you do have certain knowledge, but I would say it's not a prerequisite.
Okay, not a prerequisite. Okay, okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
definitely not.
Okay, so I mean, one of the favorite questions actually I would like to ask now is that let's say, how would you consider a 8-hour daily routine in an investment bank as a software developer or coder? On and the second part would be the 8-hour routine in an actual IT firm that we have.
Yeah, right. I had this question when I was joining Credit Suisse, to be frank, because when you get out from college after doing an engineering degree, you are obviously concerned what kind of job you'll be doing, whether it will be like my fears were that would I be fixed into the domain and have to do banking things and deal with statistics only, not get to do coding work. But that's not the case. I would say that's a misconception. The job and the tech stack and the kind of work you do while developing software is very much similar to how you'd work in any technical firm, for example, any IT firm. The same process and the same software development lifecycle as before. There are Scrum teams and there is requirement gathering process and the software development, then it's testing. Everything I would say is same. Just the thing is that you are developing software for a different application, obviously, because it's more concentrated towards how the bank functions and what the needs of the bank are at that time. And also, I would say it's really up to you how involved you want to be in understanding how your software is functioning and where it is being used. So that is where the technical banking knowledge comes in, I would say. So if you're given a requirement, you have to develop this API and you have to create this front end using this and this technology, you can just do it, do your coding, and you're done with it. You don't actually need to have any business knowledge for doing your job per se. But if you are interested and you have, you want to know about where my software being used, how is it's being used, how the business utilizes all of this tech that we are creating, there is a lot of opportunity to get involved. And if you are interested, you can even go on and switch lines after certain years of experience and get to know about more about the business perspective of it and how your software is being used, and then go on from there. If you want, you can switch lines completely. Many of my colleagues, my seniors, have gone on from being a software developer when they were hired to a business role in 5 years
Well, I think
because they
which
were
is a
interested.
great thing. Which is a great, if we have
Yeah,
examples
you
of,
have a lot of variety.
okay, great, 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 great. I think these were the main questions that actually I had in my mind, because there are sometimes a situation that there might be someone person who's trying to apply, and
Yep.
he might also as well have questions on that. So I think definitely I'll ask these people to, if in case they do have any questions, to ask the questions in the comment section in the video. But like if someone actually wants a referral, like to get into, because the series is how to get into. So like if
Yeah.
you want a referral, like can they drop a message, because I'll be definitely sharing your LinkedIn
Definitely.
profile. So
Yeah. Of course, of course. No problem at all. I would be happy to refer any good candidate that I find. And please, if anyone wants to get involved with Credit Suisse, please drop me a message, or I can share links as to where you can apply, look for roles, and then you can tell me, and I can surely give a referral to a worthy candidate. It will be my pleasure.
thank you so much, Ethan. Thank you so much. I think this has been a great time talking to you, and long time as well. We have not met since, I don't know, 3 or 4 years bare minimum. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's great
minimum.
seeing you again, and thank you for being a
Likewise.
part of my story.
I'm so glad to be here, Shom, and it was really heartwarming to see you do this for the community. I think it's a great initiative, and I'd like to support you any which way possible. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much,
much.
Ethan. Thank you so much.